All right. What's going on, everybody? Billy Carson here, aka Forbidden Knowledge. Welcome to this amazing Forbidden Knowledge podcast. TikTok, you're live in the background. So, what if everything you've been taught about ancient Egypt is all wrong? What if the pyramids, the temples, and the megalithic structures were built by primitive people? Nah, using copper chisels and ropes? I seriously doubt it. Maybe they had advanced technology. Maybe their mythology has been mistaken by us. The question isn't whether an advanced civilization actually existed. The question is why history refuses to acknowledge that it did exist. So today we're going to explore some information about ancient Egypt, also known as ancient Kemet. We're going to take a deeper look, a deeper dive into some of the things that I've seen in person with my own eyes and touched them with my own hands. There's going to be a great talk tonight. Make sure you share this video and make sure you click that like button. If you're on a platform where you want to see, like if you're on TikTok or if you're on IG and you want to see this in a bigger screen, you can go to YouTube. Go to the Forbidden Knowledge Podcast Network on YouTube. That's the Forbidden Knowledge Podcast Network, or Billy Carson Official on YouTube as well. We're live on both. You can watch it on the bigger screen, all right? So shout out to TikTok for hanging out. I appreciate y'all. You're behind the scenes on the Forbidden Knowledge Podcast tonight. And so you are as well, Instagram, all right? So I appreciate y'all. Thank you for hanging out. We're going to be talking about ancient Kemet, okay? I just want to drop something in the live chat real quick for IG, okay? Link in bio. So when I start talking about some things tonight, just remember that I do have the link for anything that I want to give away and talk about. The link is going to be in my bio, okay? All right, so let's get back into this. All right, now, ancient Egypt, did they have a high level of technology? I think by now, everyone is already assuming that the answer is most likely absolutely. 1,000%, right? Because there's so much circumstantial evidence. In America, if you have enough circumstantial evidence, you can actually convict somebody of an actual crime. So if we want to consider all of the circumstantial evidence that's all around Giza, Saqqara, Memphis, which, by the way, was the former capital of Egypt, and Luxor, Karnak, Kamambo, all these sites. The granite quarry at Aswan, where you see the super megalithic unfinished obelisk. All of these sites, the more you look at them, the more you begin to realize somebody did not use chicken bones and copper chisels to make this stuff. The first thing that I want to debunk immediately when it comes to building the pyramids, first and foremost, no slaves, and I mean no slaves, built the pyramids. Zero. And all you have to do to understand that is look at the construction, the intricacies, the calculus, the sacred geometry, the astronomical physics, the way it's laid out, the cardinal alignments, 2 million blocks of stone, each one a fingerprint. Each stone in the Great Pyramid is individually cut for the location that it's set in, which means it's over 2 million individually cut pieces of a giant puzzle. So take the theory of going down to a quarry and cutting out cookie cutter Lego sized blocks and stacking them up. Didn't work that way. Now, you can't build such a magnificent mathematical structure with all that wisdom encoded into it using slaves. Because if you study the history of enslavement, you will discover that pretty much every culture had slaves in the past. At some point in time, almost every culture on this planet has enslaved somebody. And what's the number one thing you don't do with a slave? You do not educate them. You just don't. If you educate a slave, then they're going to realize, why am I even a slave in the first place? If you start giving them advanced mathematics, advanced wisdom, advanced knowledge, advanced language, advanced writing, teaching them hieroglyphs, which is the language of light, all of a sudden, it's like eating the apple in the Garden of Eden. You wake up to the knowledge. That bite of the apple was the bite of knowledge, the download of consciousness to realize, oh, wait a minute, I'm not even an animal. What am I doing out here walking around like an animal, butt naked? It's time to put my clothes on and step up to who I really am. Step into my power. Now, at the temple surrounding the Giza Pyramid Complex, what did they discover in those temples, those rundown, worn down ancient temples? They discovered employment logs. Yes, employment logs. They discovered payroll documents. Yes, they used payroll. They even discovered a rudimentary form of insurance. So when someone would get hurt, they would log the injury and they would send him off to a doctor to get it looked at. There's records in the museums of workers with broken bones, shattered shins, shattered elbows. All of that's on record, official record. Not a guess, not a conspiracy. How much they got paid. You don't pay slaves. Last time I checked, slaves work for free. So, again, no slaves built any pyramids. These people were working in honor of the gods and also to get a little paycheck so they can take care of their bills. Now, how were the pyramids built? Still a huge mystery. What we do know is that based on the Emerald Tablets, Thoth claims that he built the Great Pyramid. He said, I patterned it after Earth's force so that it too might remain through the ages, and it has. When you go to a construction site, wherever you live in this world, you're not going to see the master architect and the engineer doing the work, doing the hardcore grunt work, like the slave labor work, like, picking up the stuff and the piping and the poles and like connecting the beams, walking across beams with harnesses on. You don't see the master architect or the engineer doing that. Everything in life has a hierarchy. So in a construction site, you're going to have a master architect who most likely won't be on site unless he's coming to visit to check on the construction work, see how it's going. Then you have the engineer. Then you have the foreman. Under the foreman, then you have the actual working class people. In the ancient Sumerian tablets, they called those people that were doing the actual physical labor, they called them the Igigi. That's the name they gave them, Igigi, I-G-I-G-I, Igigi. They were claimed to be, they were called the lesser gods. So keep in mind, though, they were still called gods by their own people, but they were considered to be the lesser gods. So these were the ones that were actually doing a lot of the labor. They were cleaning out the Tigris and Euphrates River so that they can create irrigation into the fields so that they can grow crops. They were building canals, building city and street grids, water aquifers. All this is in the ancient tablets. There's no guesswork here. These tablets are existing directly in the British Museum. They exist directly in the Ashmolean Museum in Oxford, England. Anyone can read them. There's no need to find some ancient wisdom deciphering king that knows how to decipher the tablets. They've all, the majority of the ones we have been deciphered. There's still a cache of them that haven't been deciphered yet, but AI is making quick work of that. No more mysteries, no more guesswork, no more mythology. They found even IOUs, like, when you hand somebody $1, it's an IOU. So there's evidence of fiat currency in the ancient past. Those IOUs were carved into stone, little stone tablets that were utilized for trade and barter. If you went to go buy something, you take 2 satchels of wheat with you. When you get there to trade it for a lamb, if lamb were short, maybe the guy gives you a half a lamb and an IOU for the second half. You can come back later and get the second half of the lamb. These are documented records. Documented. So let's get back into Egypt. Now, so we have the Great Pyramid. We have this amazing megalithic structure. We have the pyramids alongside of it, Khafre and the other pyramid. We have interlocking blocks that are pieces of a puzzle. We have no mortar. We have 2.1 million blocks of stone in the Great Pyramid alone. We have shafts that cut through solid stone, going down in specific angles into the heart of the pyramid itself. And then we have a subterranean area beneath the pyramid. One of the shafts that I take people down when we go to Egypt, I take them down the subterranean shaft. 60 meters down and 65-degree decline, going all the way down to an area that opens up to where you can literally stand up and look around, and you can see these huge megalithic stones down there. You're beneath the bedrock. You can clearly see at that point that you're standing inside of a machine. You're standing inside of a machine. There's no difference between the structure, the interior structure of the Great Pyramid, and you taking the engine out of your car, draining it clean, using some kind of technology to shrink yourself down like Ant-Man, and you get inside of your engine. You walk around the piston chamber and the crankshaft. You're inside of a machine. This is why you have to go to Egypt. You're not going to see this stuff on the History Channel. You're not going to see this stuff on Discovery Channel and the Science Channel. You're only going to see it when you go there. When you physically climb down these shafts with me. When I lead you to see something that, think about it, less than 0.1% of the world population know it exists, and less than 0.1% of those people will ever get a chance to even see it. That's mind-boggling. But that's what we do when we go to these places. This was my 2025 tour of Egypt group photo. You can see me sitting on the ground in the front. I got to sit on the ground because I got those basketball knees. I know y'all can't see it here on TikTok. If you want to see these photos, you got to jump on YouTube real quick, okay? Forbidden Knowledge Podcast on YouTube. That's where I'm at live right now. And so this is my group right here. Now, you can see one of the pyramids behind us. You can't really even appreciate the totality of the size of this because we're standing quite a ways away from the pyramid to take this group photo. But each one of those stone blocks that you see there are all different sizes. If you want to find out more about coming on tour, I'm dropping a link in the live chat right now. Make sure you click that link. And if you don't see the link in the live chat because you're probably on TikTok or X, there's a link in my bio. Click that link and register for the Forbidden Sacred Tours that we have. I'm telling you, they'll change your life. They will change your life, okay? And, excuse me. And let me grab one for Facebook real quick as well. And so this structure, it does so much. So it aligns with Cardinal North. The Great Pyramid itself is actually an 8-sided structure. It's 8-sided. It looks like it's 4-sided, but the Great Pyramid is 8-sided. If you look at the Great Pyramid at a particular angle at a particular time of day from the sky, you can see its indentions on both sides, giving it this 8-sided shape. And we know that Thoth was heavily involved in the 8 wisdom. He talked about it quite a bit. He was even the Lord of the 8. The pyramid he built, the pyramid of the moon that he built in Teotihuacan, according to him, which was dedicated to his wife, Maat, is also what? It's 8 pyramids stacked on top of each other after they did the scans. It's 8 pyramids stacked on top of one another. And that's located in Teotihuacan, Mexico, built by the same person that architected and designed the Great Pyramid at Giza. I'm dropping another link in the live chat for those that might be on Facebook if you want to learn more about our tours, okay? So now the base of this pyramid and the height of this pyramid and the leveled bedrock area of the pyramid, when you look at the mathematics, it gives you some very special mathematical numbers. Number one, when you take those measurements, you can calculate 365 days in a year. You can calculate the distance from the Earth to the moon. You can calculate the mean distance to the moon. The mean distance. What is that? Well, the orbit of the moon around the Earth is not a perfect circle. It's elliptical, but it's a elliptical that has a wobble. So in some points it's closer, in some points it's further away. To get the mean distance, you have to have technology that can measure the erratical orbit and then calculate the average distance. In other words, how much is it at its furthest and how much is it at its closest? Now let's average that out to the midpoint and then give you what they call the mean distance to the moon. The Great Pyramid calculates that. It can calculate the circumference of the Earth. It calculates the circumference of the moon. These same measurements will give you the distance from the Earth to the sun, 1 astronomical unit, 1 AU, as they use in astrophysics. How in the world did they know astrophysics thousands of years ago, when they were supposedly using chicken bones and copper chisels given to slaves to make this structure? Something ain't adding up. The math ain't mathing with their story. The math with their story, it ain't mathing. My math is mathing. My math can be verified. It can be validated because it's based on hard numbers. You could also figure out the distance from the Earth to the moon, the sun, and the speed of the Earth on its own axis, and the speed of the sun around the Milky Way galaxy. Incredible. Now, when the galaxies move through space, they often collide with other galaxies, and sometimes they move into something they call a cluster. Multiple galaxies all around each other. They call them clusters. The measurements of the Great Pyramid, which is all this is written in my book with the exact mathematical numbers, in case you ever want to get those exact numbers I'm talking about. My book, Compendium of the Emerald Tablets, written 8 years ago, long before AI existed, people. Long before AI. 8 years been a bestseller. 8 years bestseller. The actual mathematics is all in here. You can go and get your calculator out or plug them into AI and see if my answers are accurate. 8 years ago. It can tell you and calculate the speed of the galaxy around the local cluster of galaxies. Now, what's going on beneath the pyramid? We know that there are megalithic structures beneath Giza now because of the synthetic aperture radar scan done by Filippo Biondi and his team of scientists. They sent the 10 gigahertz beam down to the surface, and it penetrated the surface, and it picked up minute vibrations beneath the earth. And those vibrations were then sent back to a supercomputer that told it, okay, here's the vibrations. That means these type of vibrations are empty space, and these type of vibrations are solid space. The supercomputer then renders an image of what's beneath the ground. And what is miraculous, like I keep showing everybody on page 34 of my book, Compendium of the Emerald Tablets, on page 34, I show 8 years ago that there's something that should be underneath the Giza Plateau. And I even put a rendered photo in here. See that TikTok? It shows columns going down beneath the earth. And I said that they go on for miles. 8 years ago. They just discovered this last year. The area beneath the pyramids is more magnificent than the pyramids themselves. I'll say that again. The area beneath the pyramids is more magnificent than the pyramids themselves. You can fit 6 Burj Khalifas down there. The Burj Khalifa is the tallest building in the world. I've been to the very, very top of the Burj Khalifa. When you look over, the skyscrapers beneath look like ants. That's how tall that building is. Imagine building a space beneath bedrock that can fit that structure 6 times. Imagine that the space down there is so massive that the bedrock doesn't just collapse in. That bedrock has survived earthquakes, wars, you name it. You can see when I take you to Egypt, I'm going to take you to the Giza Plateau. I'm going to show you where the bedrock line is, where it fits together like a puzzle, where they opened up the entire plateau like a can of corn. They popped the lid. They built that megalithic underground metropolis, and then they put it back together again. And I'm going to show you the exact evidence of that in Egypt. Again, you'll never see this on the History Channel. You'll never see this on Travel Channel. You'll never see this on any channel. You'll see it on Forbidden Knowledge TV. You'll see it here with me. You'll see it in person. You can put your hands on it. You can take pictures and videos of it. Whoever had the technology to open up an entire plateau and then put it back together seamlessly as if it never happened, with a megalithic structure, a metropolis beneath it, with 8 megalithic columns that go down beneath the earth for 2 miles. At the bottom of these columns are megalithic boxes. Each box can hold 64,000 people. And there's 8 of them. The latest LiDAR scans show energy moving back and forth beneath the Giza Plateau. There's still an active system running down there. And that's just the beginning. That is literally just the beginning. I mean, how in the world did they do this? How did they get the Great Pyramid aligned to true north with extraordinary accuracy? The base is nearly level across acres of stone, and individual blocks weighing multiple tons fit together as if they were made specifically for the location that they're set in. There's no way that this was just manpower. This is sophisticated surveying. This is engineering. This is advanced sacred geometry. They understood that they were building a structure that could stand the test of time. They used advanced machining, and they used granite, crystal granite, one of the hardest natural stones. And when you go there, I'll show you precision drilled holes. You'll be able to put your finger on the drill marks and feel the tool marks with your own fingertips. It's wild stuff. You're going to see evidence of high-speed machining. But we don't have a high-speed machine that can duplicate these exact cuts. We just don't have it. We just don't have it. Pretty incredible stuff. When we take you to the museum, you're going to see something miraculous. I posted this years ago. I took this picture with my own phone, the top photo in Egypt. I made this meme years ago. I think I made this meme back in 2014 or 2015. The top photo I took with my own cell phone. The bottom photo I took with my cell phone from a pole outside, electric pole outside. Does it look familiar? Make sure you click that link in my bio. You want to come to Egypt and see this stuff in person. Click that link in my bio, click that link in the caption, click that link in the live chat, and register to come hang out with me for 2 weeks in Egypt. I'm going to show you the most amazing things that you didn't even know exist. Look at this. This, you know what they say this is at the top? And you can't see it, guys. I'm so sorry. I wish you could see it on TikTok, but it's on YouTube. I'm showing an electric system, modern day electricity system for a telephone pole or electric pole that you'd see outside your house in Egypt. They're calling this an artifact. They're calling this artifact a spiritual device. You can clearly see wires coming out of the bottom. You can clearly see it's a Tesla coil setup. The same setup you still have today in what we call modern civilization. Nothing's changed. And this is on display at the museum. I take you to see this in person with your own eyes. You can take a picture of it with your own cell phone. More evidence hidden in plain sight of advanced technology. More proof that the ancient Egyptians had an electric system. They had electricity. And guess what? Not only did they have electricity, we can prove it because we have found thousands of electro gold plated devices that date back thousands of years. You can't electro gold plate trinkets unless you have electricity to electric gold plate the trinkets. All right. What's up, everybody in the live chat? I see Danae in the house. She's in the 4BK family. I'm here, Ford 74. Frank Lucas in the house. Edward, everyone else that's in here, I appreciate y'all. Mr. Cut, everyone in the live chat, everybody following and listening along on Instagram, everyone listening along on TikTok. I appreciate y'all. What's going on, Mackie? What's going on, Mikey? Janice, Winnie, Laura, Mateo, what's up, Champ? All right. I'm glad y'all hanging out and paying attention. This is incredible stuff. Now, there's something at Abu Ghurab that I want to take you to see. This is in Abu Ghurab. I want to show you a different angle first. Take a look at this. I wish y'all could see this. I don't know if you can't really see it from there. But you go to YouTube. I'm showing them this device, these artifacts at Abu Ghurab that look like they're part of a machine, part of a giant machine. Okay? A giant machine. And these objects clearly look like it was disassembled from something. They're massive. And maybe if there's any engineers that can research what these might be. Take a look at them. We don't know what they are, but you can tell by the drill holes that they used to mount on something, or something used to mount to them. We're just not sure exactly what these are. But I can tell you what it's not. It's not just some rocks laying around. This is more evidence that they had machines of some type back then. Here's another angle of these objects. Some of the other ones. What the ancient Egyptians had was advanced technology. What the modern people are saying these are ceremonial bowls. They're saying that these are for ceremonies. I seriously doubt it. I seriously doubt it. We're looking at part of some type of equipment that doesn't exist anymore. So when we go to Egypt, we're going to explore the Sahara Desert. We're going to explore different areas around the plateau. And we are going to actually do field research live and in person. We're going to go out there with Geiger counters, magnetometers. I bring those with me. We're going to have other electromechanical, highly sensitive EMF tools, like an EMF reader. We're going to actually research and pick up pieces and check them out and see what they are. We're going to look at the tool marks on some of the cuts from areas that seem like they've been broken off or disassembled from something. You're going to get a chance to actually see that. And then we're going to be filming live filming for season 3 of Anunnaki Ancient Secrets Revealed. So you'll be live while I'm actually filming and recording a TV series. And who doesn't mind being caught by camera, you can sign a release form and you'll actually appear in the actual docuseries. Your face will be in the docuseries. But again, you got to be there. Fill out that link and check it out. Register for that. Register for this tour. Imagine putting your hands, physically touching that. Do you understand how many people have never seen this before, yet alone have a chance to actually put their hands on it and touch it? We don't even know what they are, but imagine this is part of some type of ancient advanced technology or some type of advanced system that was utilized for some way for that civilization, and you actually get a chance to actually touch it with your own hands. Insane. That's why I love doing this stuff. It's just mind-boggling. I can't get enough of it. Here I am, coming up the Grand Gallery inside the Great Pyramid. Had come up to the top of the Grand Gallery right before I'm getting ready to head into the King's Chamber. This is a phenomenal area. The area that I'm standing in has the same longitude in digits as the speed of light. They encoded the speed of light in meters per second into the Great Pyramid structure itself, into specifically the Grand Gallery. How did they know about meters, you ask? The French guy discovered meters, right? How did they know about meters thousands of years ago, you ask? Well, guess what? They have this on Wikipedia, which is, it got to be so true that Wikipedia was forced to put it up. They discovered Proto-Sumerian writing on these little tiny tablets and vases. But where did they find these Proto-Sumerian writing? In Mexico. And guess what? They had the metric system recorded on their writings. the metric system. And if you go, there's no way they can have Sumerian writing in the Americas. Well, did you research Chief Joseph, a former Native American chief? Because when they dug up his body, he had a Sumerian cuneiform tablet in his pocket. And that's mainstream news, mainstream history. How did Chief Joseph get a Sumerian cuneiform tablet in his pocket, buried with him in his burial mound? Atlantis was a global civilization. That's how. These people traveled all over the world nonstop. They were here, we were there. Everyone was everywhere. Christopher Columbus didn't discover anything. Matter of fact, he thought he found India. That's why we started calling the natives in America Indians, because he coined that name thinking he had ran into India. He ran into the Caribbean. It's actually an insult to call an indigenous Native American an Indian. It's actually an insult. Guy didn't discover anything. But here I am in the Grand Gallery of the King's Chamber. I'm on our really nice Nile boat. I wish y'all could see this. I'm on the boat now. We have our own cruise ship that we sail down the Nile. And these are just everyone in this photo is on my tour. We don't let anyone else on the boat except for us. If you want to sail down the Nile and hang out, there you go. Come hang out. We have the bottom floor is the kitchen, the restaurant area. The middle floor we are now has the lobby and the area that we do all of our conferences, workshops, and classes. We have a dance floor for dancing and parties. We have some forbidden parties. And then the top, we have a rooftop, open air, pool, a waiting pool, a little workout area, and some more eating spaces on the top deck for viewing and hanging out and parties and everything else. We have a great time. We really, really, really have a great time. And it's great to be with the people that have supported me. I love to hang out. I hang out with everybody. I take pictures with everybody. I joke around, talk with everybody. I mix up the tables, for the meals and everything else. But yeah, we have a really good time. Really, really good time. I want to try to add this video real quick and show you something. See if I can find it here. There's so much evidence of advanced technology. It is just, it's mind-blowing. Let's see. It is absolutely mind-blowing. Okay. One of the things I really like to do is visit the Temple of Hathor at Dendera. I'm trying to find a picture for it now, but I got so many thousands of photos, I can't specifically pull that one out. But I did find something I do want to show you. Let me just remove one of these so I can pull that up real quick. 1 second. I want to show you what we're going to do at the Sphinx. When tourists go to see the Sphinx, they cannot, I repeat, they cannot go into the Sphinx enclosure. They must stand approximately 50 to 80 yards away on a ledge, a man-made ledge that overlooks the Sphinx area, but they cannot go in. All their pictures and everything else are taken from that distance. We are going to go into the Sphinx enclosure. We are going to stand next to the Sphinx. We're going to touch the Sphinx. We are going to explore the Sphinx. I'm going to show you the underground tunnels all around the Sphinx and where they go and where they're directed to. We're going to research the weathering of the inner side of that enclosure. We're going to do geology research right there. And keep in mind where I'm standing, beneath my feet, about a mile down, there's a massive object that was discovered by penetrating radar scans. They won't tell us what it is, but the Emerald Tablets told us, didn't it? The Emerald Tablet said that Thoth hid his ship, not a ship for the ocean, a sky ship beneath the Sphinx. When that episode was going to air on Discovery Channel, live as to what the shape of what they discovered, the show got cut right as it aired. Never forget that day. Those were the days when you had to sit right in front of the TV and wait for something to come on. Unless you had something called TiVo or the VHS tape recorder to record it and come back and watch. I was sitting there live waiting for that thing to come on, and they cut the episode and said, this show has been canceled. They don't want us to know. It's down there, though. It is down there. But we'll do research in here, and we'll go in here early in the morning before the sun rises. And then we'll watch the sunrise over the Sphinx's paw. It's an incredible place. Let me see if I can find that video real quick. There's so much here, just so much to see. It's wild. The the halls of Amenti are going to be, we're going to visit that. That's more technology. I'm going to take you to Enki's halls of Amenti, located in Saqqara. We're going to go about 50 feet beneath the Sahara Desert. Beneath. We're going to go beneath the Sahara. We're going to go down there and we're going to go into this area where there's halls. And these halls are going to have giant megalithic crystal diorite stone boxes, perfectly carved and cut, like something you've never seen before. It is amazing. And these boxes are so megalithic, there's no way to get them down into this underground area where these halls are located. The other problem is, to get the size that they are, you have to cut the stone down to create these megalithic boxes, which means you need about 1/3 to 2/3 more size stone. So you can't say, well, they made them in this exact spot where they're resting. You can't, because you would never be able to fit the piece that needed to be carved into them into the hole. So the only other option that's available, there's two. One option is teleportation. They created them above ground and teleported them into those locations. That's one option. The only other option is they manifested them in those spots. They actually, in some way, with some type of unknown technology, created them through manifestation in those locations underground, because there literally is no other way they can do it. None. Zero. I don't know. I can't find the video. That's so bizarre. So we're talking about such a high level of technology. Now, what was the purpose of these boxes? It wasn't for burying people. It was part of a giant machine. I take my Geiger counter down there with me, and the Geiger counter gets higher than background level radiation. Higher than background level radiation. These diorite, crystal diorite boxes are still sending energy. Not only that, the lids weigh tons. And once a box is closed and sealed, we can't open it. The ones that are open down there are only open because we discovered them open. We can't open them and we can't close them. Isn't that crazy? We can't open them and we can't close them. The only two boxes that we've ever seen inside that were sealed, we had to use TNT. We had to blow them up in order to get inside, and they were empty. We had to blow them up. Thoth talks about in the Emerald Tablets that he literally would put his extra bodies, he would fashion. So he didn't steal bodies, he would fashion bodies. That's cloning. And I'm going to take you to the temples where they have the hieroglyphs that teach the cloning technique. You're going to see with your own eyes. You're going to witness us read to you the actual recipe for cloning a human being. He says he would fashion his bodies and put them in these rejuvenation chambers and let them rejuvenate. When one body wore out, he would transfer his consciousness into another body, put the worn out body in one of these rejuvenation chambers, seal it, and let it lay there for 100 years. He said he did this 100 times 10. That's 10,000. But if you add the 100 years per body, that's 100,000 years. That's insanity. How long do these people live? How long do they freaking live? I'm going to drop the link in the live chat again. Make sure y'all click that link and make sure you register for the Forbidden Tour of Egypt. The link is in my bio. My new Link Me is in the bio on TikTok. Click that link in my bio and register for that Forbidden Tour of Egypt. If you're live on Instagram, the link is in my bio. Click that link and check out my bio link. I upgraded my bio link to Link Me, a verified Link Me. So my bio link is a verified link now. My bio link is a verified link on TikTok as well. Click that link. You can get access to all of my information, all of my stuff, communicate with me, as well as register for the Forbidden Knowledge Academy and the Forbidden Tour of Egypt, okay? I really did want to play this video because I really have a really cool video for you. I'm just trying to find it here. I'm trying to find it. The other thing that we're going to do when we go to the Temple of Dendera, we're going to visit there. I'm going to show you evidence of advanced technology down there. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. I got a photo I took with my business partner, Tiberius, down inside of an underground crypt with 3D hieroglyphs and magnetized walls. I know I have it down here, so let's see if I can find it. That's pretty cool. It's a pretty good, cool photo. And it's mesmerizing. This underground area, you have to climb through this very small hole in this crypt at the Temple of Hathor, Dendera. And then once you do that, it opens up to where you can, even I can stand up, and I'm 6'4". So it's a pretty decent height. It's not that wide, but you do have good height in there. And, but then you get to see these 3D hieroglyphs. So here I am right here with Tiberius. If you don't know who that is, he's my business partner on the Forbidden Knowledge Academy, as well as Law of Attraction Live on Instagram. If you don't know that account, it's one of the largest Instagram accounts out there for consciousness. Is Law of Attraction Live. He's at about 5.5 million followers on that account. Also, Stay Positive is his as well. Always putting out great positive content. But see what we're pointing at? We're pointing at advanced technology. I know you can't see it here, TikTok, but we're pointing at light bulbs, hieroglyphs of light bulbs in an underground crypt in the Temple of Hathor in Dendera. We're pointing at technology right there. These bulbs are connected with a cable to a JED, a DJED, the Tesla coil that you saw earlier that looked like part of your electric system. And that is wirelessly connected to the wireless power grid because it picked up ambient energy that was generated from the Great Pyramid. That's what we're down there doing, checking out this advanced technology. Again, I'm telling you, I'm gonna drop the link in the live chat again, but you gotta come on down to Egypt and see this stuff with your own eyes. Because if you don't see it with your own eyes, it's just Google. It's just something you saw online. But once you see it, you can't unsee it. Once you see this stuff, you just can't unsee it. They used frequency technology for levitation. Let me see if I can pull that image back down again. They use frequency technology for levitation. And they would use that to levitate stones into place. So here I am inside of one of the shafts. This might be, let me see, that looks more like the bent pyramid of Dozier. Yeah, I'm coming up out of the bent pyramid of Dozier there. Let's look at some frequency technology that's used to levitate stones in our current day. That technology exists today in 2026. That's modern technology using frequency and vibration to levitate stones. If you come on tour, I saw somebody asking, do you have to get a vaccine? No, there's no vaccines required. Never have been, never will be. I've never been vaccinated to go anywhere in this world. I've never had to do that. All you have to do is just come there. When you land in Egypt, we have a VIP person with your name on a tablet, meet you and greet you at Cairo, take you straight to the counter to get your visa, and they'll stamp the visa. After that, they'll take you to the luggage rack to pick up your luggage for you, put it on a cart. They'll take your luggage out to your car, load the car up, and our drivers will drive you directly to your hotel. The only thing we won't do is tuck you in. But we'll see you in the next morning for breakfast, and then we'll have our first meeting that evening, that second day in that evening, and we'll do a complete welcome message and kind of a mini presentation, and then we kick it off from there. All right. But again, that technology had to be something similar that they were using to levitate these stones in the ancient days, in the ancient times, ancient Egypt and other places as well. Frequency and vibration, right? I mean, they had big brains. The reason why they had those huge hats on their heads was because they had huge skulls inside of those hats. This is something you might not have known. I'm showing these elongated skulls. When I take you to the museum to go look at the mummies, which are forbidden to be photographed and forbidden to be videoed. If you get caught, well, you'd be locked up in a third world country. But I'm going to take you to see these skulls. And you're going to begin to realize, wait a doggone minute. How come they didn't show us this in school? Well, they're not going to show this to you. You want to see Pharaoh Akhenaten's daughter's bust? That's Akhenaten's daughter, Mikataten. So Mikataten, this is how her head looked. Exactly and precisely. This is an accurate bust located in the Cairo Museum of exactly how her head was shaped. Pharaoh Akhenaten's daughter. I'm showing some elongated skulls right now. See if we have another one here. Now that's a Paracas skull. This is Paracas, located in Peru. And this is the pharaoh's daughter, located in Egypt. This is the pharaoh's wife. There's something they didn't teach us in school about these people, did they? These are not a result of skull binding, by the way. Skull binding reduces cranial capacity. Thank you, Empress. Let me tell you this again. Skull binding reduces cranial capacity. So does skull binding exist? Yes. Some cultures, some indigenous cultures, especially islanders and so forth, based on what they saw thousands of years ago, these people that they saw that had these elongated skulls, they wanted to honor them. And so what they did was they started binding the skulls of their children. So they wrapped the skull of their children really tight. And as the child grew in the soft skull, it would then form this cone. The only problem with skull binding, it reduces cranial capacity. It shrinks the space that the brain has to grow in. What we're seeing with a lot of these skulls found in Egypt and Peru and everywhere else, we're seeing up to 25% more cranial mass. We're not seeing the same sagittal amount of sutures as a human being has as well on the skull itself. We're looking at something completely different. We're looking at something non-Homo sapien, and we're looking at something that was 10 times smarter than a human being, or this version of a human being. That's what we're seeing. Like I said, you got to go and see this stuff in person. I just dropped the link in the live chat. The link is in my bio, TikTok, Instagram. The link is in my bio. Click that link in my bio and register for that Forbidden Sacred Tour. We're going to do meditations inside of pyramids, meditations inside of temples, guided meditations and activations on the Nile. We're going to do workshops, classes, training session, field research. We're going to do real archaeology. We're going to film a TV series, and we're going to have a great time eating great food and hanging out and talking and joking and everything else, networking. All right? So I want to see you there. Click that link in my bio, and I'm going to catch y'all later. Thanks for hanging out tonight. I appreciate y'all. I'll talk to you again soon. Peace.